channel, I believe. Right? So let's try this multi-streaming activity tonight. Let's see how it works. If you can see me and hear me, let me know you can see me and hear me, guys. You know the drill. Um, on different platforms, so you might see my eyes shifting a little bit, but that's okay. You have my undivided attention. Just tell me in the comments that you can see me and hear me. Tag your business besties, tag your accountability partners, and let me know that you are here. Let me know that you are here so we can jump into our conversation. I'm trying to do a lot more of these trainings with you guys so that you have the opportunity to ask me questions as you're learning, as you're growing, as you're implementing, because I know it can be quite a struggle for some people to do it on their own. They don't have a community, they don't have a support system. So I'm trying my best to be as supportive as I can with you by doing a lot more of these trainings so that you don't feel like you're alone and that you have to do everything on your own, right? Because you have support. I am here, right? And we have a lot more new people who have joined DBS and who have started to follow me over the last week. So just for me to introduce myself really, really quickly, I'm Adanna Austin. I am your business coach and consultant, and I work with high end entrepreneurs like yourself to get very clear on your goals, identify your ideal clients, and develop the strategies to grow your business, right? Specifically, your marketing strategy. So, today I wanted to come on and talk to you guys, tonight, I should say, I wanted to come on and talk to you guys about goal setting, but specifically goal setting for profit. So a few days ago in my group, my Facebook group, my free Facebook group, Dynamic Business Strategist. If you're not there, that's where you need to be because we have over 4,000 entrepreneurs across there who are supporting each other, who are helping each other, who work together to really grow their business, right? So if you're not there, go on Facebook and request to join Dynamic Business Strategist. Yeah. So in the group, I asked a question a few days ago, and I asked if you had your 90-day goal already mapped out. And many people, I would say the majority of people said no. I think one person said they're working on it and that kind of thing. And, that's quite an eye opener because we are in the middle of March, which is the last month in the first quarter. And by now, you should already have a sense of what is going to happen in your business in the next 90 days. And even if not completely in the next 90 days, but at least in the next month of your business, you should already have a plan of action for the next month because you don't start to promote your offers for April in April, right? We know we don't do that. You have to promote them in advance in order to get the results that you want. And your offers and your promotions should kind of be rolling into each other, right? If you're brand new, I understand you may not have as many offers and stuff, and that's fine. But eventually, you will learn how to create a multiple streams of income so you can have that rollover of offers every single month, right? So at this stage, you should be planning out your next 90 days of your business, right? So go ahead and tag your accountability partners, tag your business besties, tag everybody who needs to hear this. Because we're talking about goal setting specifically for profit in your business, right? And with everything, when we're talking about goal setting, I always refer you back to making sure that your goals are very, very smart, right? And guys, we want to make sure that your goals are written. We're not talking about just keeping things in our head. Make sure that you always have it written. I'm a big proponent for writing things down. I write down everything. I have my book, I have my notebook, I write everything down because I believe when you write it down, the likelihood of it actually coming to life really, really, it happens much quicker, right? And it becomes much clearer to you once you have it written. So we're talking about making sure that you have your goals written down. And we're talking about your smart goals for profit, because goal setting for profits, right? So you want to make sure that your goals are smart. Let me know in the comments if you ever heard about smart goals before. I'm sure you've heard about smart goals before. Give me a one in the comments if you've heard about smart goals before, because I am sure that you have, right? When we talk about smart goals, we're talking about making sure that your goals are specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they're realistic, and they are time bound. And I'm sure you've heard about it, not just from me, but from other coaches and mentors. And I'm sure you have read about it. And there's a reason that it's being said over and over so much, because it is so very true and so very important, right? When you're setting these goals for profit, you want to make sure that they are specific. Let's talk about that aspect of it as it pertains to your profit. You want to be as specific as possible. The thing is, most times when entrepreneurs are struggling to make money or to attract clients, because that's what they say, right? Adanna, I'm not making the type of money that I want to make, or I'm not getting the type of sales that I want to get. I'm not getting the amount of clients that I want to get. But that's the kind of vernacular that a lot of people use, right? A lot of times it's three things, maybe four. But one of those things is because you may be pricing too low, right? We always talk about don't underprice in order to attract your ideal clients, right? That is not a great strategy. You want to price competitively enough so that you are making a profit. You don't want to just break even. You don't want to price yourself out of the market, but you also don't want to undercharge yourself with the hope of attracting clients. Because what you're going to attract are very, very cheap clients. Yeah. So it's either you're not charging enough and you may need to raise your prices, either you're not selling enough, you're not asking for the sale enough. So you may be showing up every single day on social media, but are you actually asking for the sale? Are you telling people that this is what you have for sale? This is how you buy it from me. This is how you come to me. This is the price that it is. This is what it can do for you. So you may not be charging the right price, you may not be selling enough, and thirdly, you may not be selling to the right people because you're trying to sell to everybody instead of niching down to your clients, right? To the people who actually need and want your services, because you feel that if you put out a wide enough net, you would attract enough people, but that is actually doing more damage to your business, right? You need to get really, really specific about who needs and wants the things that you are putting out. Hence, my offers are specifically for entrepreneurs. If you're not an entrepreneur, then my offers will make absolutely no sense. I speak specifically for entrepreneurs. I email entrepreneurs. I stand in front of entrepreneurs. I always say my message and my offers are for entrepreneurs because it's not for every and anybody. So you have to be able to say without contradiction that my offers are for this particular person. It's not, well, if I put it out to anybody, put it out there, well, somebody might buy or somebody might see it and tell a friend or tell a family member. That is not a strategy to grow your business. That is not a strategy for growth, right? So those may be the three reasons why you're not getting sales, why you're not attracting your ideal clients, and you're struggling a little bit to earn money and make a profit, right? Your prices, you're not selling enough, and you're not selling to the right people. And just to throw that in there as well, your messaging may be off, meaning whatever you are sharing with your audience is not resonating with them. It's not getting them excited. It's not keeping their attention. It is not very clear. It's not very specific about who you're talking to. And it's not very clear to them exactly how you can solve the challenges that you are claiming that you can solve. So your messaging might not be very, very clear. So that's a fourth reason why you may not be making the profits that you know you can be making in your business. So when you're thinking about goal setting for profits, you want to make sure that whatever you're planning for the 90 days, that it is very, very specific. Make sure it is specific, make sure it's measurable, make sure it's attainable, make sure it's realistic, and make sure it is time bound, right? So 90 days, it's time bound. We're saying specific, we're saying we want to move from making $500 to $2,000. That's very, very specific. I'm not just saying, Adan, I want to make some money, or Dan, I want to make some profit. What does that look like specifically for your business? Do I want to move from 500 to 2,000? Do I want to move from 1,000 to 3,000? Be very specific about the amount, right? And when you're being very specific about the amount, when we talk about being attainable and realistic, right? Don't just pull a number off the top of your head. You want to make sure that whatever you choose to do to get to that new financial goal is attainable. Make sure that you have to ask yourself, do I have the resources? Do I have the time in order to fulfill these orders? Do I have enough resources to fulfill these orders? Do I have enough support to fulfill these orders? Because it's nice to say, well, I want to make $20,000 a month. It's beautiful to say that, right? But what will work to your disadvantage is for you to push that and then you cannot fulfill orders because that's going to do more reputational damage than anything else. So you also have to look at those things when you set in these financial goals. Do I have the manpower to fulfill it? Do I have the resources to fulfill it? Do I have the time to fulfill it? Because I could say, okay, if I want to make, just using figures, I want to make $20,000 a month, right? And in order for me to make $20,000 a month, I need to service 20 entrepreneurs, right? Have like one on one conversations with 20 entrepreneurs, right? Is that realistic for me? For me, is not realistic because of the lifestyle that I may have, right? Some of you have kids, some of you may be working full time while you're building your business at the side. That may not be attainable. So you also have to ask yourself those questions, right? And write it down. How much can I actually fulfill? How many people can I actually work with given my time, given the lifestyle that I want? Because I might not want to work on a Sunday. I might not be able to work after 6 p.m. I might not be able to, so many different variables. And that's why it's going to be different for everybody, right? That's why it's going to be different for everybody. Give me a two if you understand. Give me a two in the comments if you're understanding. Yeah, it's going to be different for everybody. So that's why you have to be honest with yourself, right? Is it realistic? Is it attainable? Is it specific? Is it measurable? So those are some of the things you have to take into consideration when you're talking about your goal setting for profit. The other thing is 90 days. I love 90 days because with 90 days, guys, 90 days is 3 months. 90 days is 12 weeks, which means if we set these goals right now, by the end of June. Think about it. That's right around the corner. We have Easter, we have Mother's Day, we have what? Father's Day, we have maybe what else we have? Maybe Labor Day, we have Corpus Christi, we have all those other holidays in between there, right? But between now and June, the end of June, which is right around the corner, then these goals that you're setting for yourself should be attainable, right? And that's why I like 90 days. So when you put 12 months or a year and a half, you know what ends up happening? You don't actually put in the work because you feel in your head that you have a lot of time. But if you give yourself 12 weeks, I have 12 weeks to get this done, it will help you stay focused. It will help you to keep from procrastinating and it will keep you on the right path to get exactly what you want to get, right? So that's why I like those 90 days. Set up those 90-day goals, right? In order for you to get X amount of clients. Right now, I'm getting 5 clients. I want to get 20 clients. Right now, I'm making $500. I want to make $2,000. Right now, I have 100 followers. I want to have 500 followers in 90 days and so on and so forth, whatever your 90-day goals are, right? But specifically where it relates to your profits, right? You have to make sure that it's making sense. It has to make sense, right? So we're working on 90-day goals, which is 12 weeks, which means by the end of June, whatever you write tonight is what will transpire in your life once you decide to actually actually get into action, right? So, in addition to these SMART goals, in addition to giving yourself 90 days, you also want to give yourself time to set aside time every single day because guys, you're not going to get this financial goal of moving from 500 to $2,000 a week, a day, an hour if you don't set aside time. And I know this is one of the hardest things for a lot of entrepreneurs. Give me a three if it's true for you. Right? I know that's one of the hardest things for a lot of entrepreneurs. Setting aside the time to make sure that you can implement the strategies so that you can hit that financial goal in your business, right? So that you can make the profits that you desire in your business. You have to set aside time, right? And again, I always say to you guys, it looks different to everybody. If you are still working full time, it means you might have to do it after work, or you might have to do it on your lunch break. You might have to do it after you put the kids to bed. You might have to dedicate, I say dedicate at least an hour. If you can get two, even better, but dedicate at least an hour a day to move this forward, to move this goal forward so that you can actually hit that financial goal. We're not just talking about a number in our head now. We're looking at this number and saying, okay, in order for me to hit this goal, this is how much I need to sell. This is the price I need to sell it at. This is how much I need to show up. This is how much I need to talk to my ideal clients. This is the messaging I need to put out in order to hit this financial goal, right? Guys, it's not going to happen to you just by wishing and hoping and praying, right? All the faith in the world is one thing, but if you're actually not putting in the work, set aside that time, you're not going to get it. So you want to make sure your goals are smart. You want to make sure they are at least 90 days long. Be realistic, guys. 90 days long, 12 weeks. And you also want to commit to setting aside time every single day to do something. Because once you come up with those 90 days, you're going to come up with your strategy and then you're going to come up with a list of things to do that come out of your strategy, right? And your list of things to do on a daily basis does not have to be 20 things in one day. It can be three major things that you do every single day, right? And so you have to make that commitment that no matter what, before I close my eyes to sleep tonight or before whatever, I am going to commit to do these three things. It might be three different things every day, it doesn't matter, but you have to commit to do those things because you're not going to hit that financial goal unless you actually do the work. Yeah, give me a four if that's making sense. Give me a four in the chat if that's making sense. Yes? So you want to set aside time. The other thing is, as I said, you did your SMART goal. You want to now break down that goal into actionable steps. Break it down into actionable steps. Because a lot of times when we write a goal, right, it seems so huge. I want to make $20,000. You're not going to make $20,000 overnight, but you know that in order for me to move from that $500 to $2,000, I need to put certain things in place. I need to make sure I have images for my product. I need to make sure that I have an offer. I need to make sure that it's easy for people to buy. I need to make sure that I have that I email my audience. I need to make sure X, Y, and Z, whatever that may be for your business. You want to break those down into actionable steps. What do I need to do to make this profit in my business? Besides messaging saying, Adanna, I'm not making the money, right? There's a reason you're not making the money, right? And 9 times out of 10, you know exactly what that means. It means you're not pricing properly, you're not talking to the right people, your messaging is not right, or you're not selling enough. So what are the actionable steps that you are going to take to make sure that you actually hit that financial goal at the end of 90 days, your 3-month mark? So you break it up into actionable steps. And then you go a step further. Then you say, okay, what are the low hanging fruits? What are the things that I could actually get done in 5-10 minutes? Let me knock those things out, right? Because those are the things that we procrastinate on the most, the things that we know really going to take us 10 minutes, but in our head, we build up so much that we feel it's going to take 2 hours, when in reality, it's actually going to take 5 minutes. get rid of or get them completed, those low hanging fruits, because there are going to be other action steps that may require you to give more time, right? It may take 2 or 3 days. It might take a week for you to complete. Get on those things as soon as possible. Get on those things as soon as possible. We're not complaining about how hard it is and about you don't have the time. Get on it tonight. Get on it tonight, right? So that you will have things in place by April 1st so that you can actually meet and hit that financial goal by the end of June, which is your 90 days, right? So you break it down into actionable steps. And as you hit each step, guys, I know this is a very taboo thing. Give me a 5 if you understand when I say break it down into actionable steps. Break it down into actionable steps. Can you see the steps? Can you actually see the steps? Guys, write it down now. Write it down, right? Breaking it down into actionable steps. And guys, one of the things to do, celebrate each step as you move forward, whether the step is as small as sending out an email, as small as saying yes to somebody, as it doesn't matter how big or small. Celebrate each step as you achieve each step in your goal, because it's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to happen over time. And you want to hit that financial goal, and the reason you want to celebrate it as well is because I've seen this happen before, where we hit our financial goal, a client will hit a financial goal, and instead of being excited that they hit the financial goal, they just exhausted. They're just exhausted and just like, oh, I hit it. Okay, let's move on. No, you have to celebrate all of those steps that you took, because you did it. You did it. It doesn't matter how big or small, right? So you celebrate each step, and then you also have to understand that in trying to achieve this financial goal that you have set for yourself for the next 90 days, that you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible, because sometimes things are not always going to go according to plan, and that is also okay. That's why you have to celebrate the big things and the small things, right? Because things are not always going to go according to plan. But because things don't go according to plan, so let's say you put out an offer and your goal was, listen, I want to sell 10 of these things, but in reality you only sold 8. That is not a reason for you to derail yourself. That's not a reason for you to say, well, oh my God, I didn't reach my 10, so I can't do this thing. Or even if I just sold one, it is not a reason for you to throw your hands in the air. It's a reason for you to actually look back at your processes, look at your system, look at your pricing, look at your offer, look at your ideal clients, and make some decisions. Look at the data that is in front of you and make some decisions moving forward, so that when you put the offer out again, or you put out a new offer, you will have a brand new strategy, because obviously what I did before wasn't working. Maybe I didn't talk about my offer enough. Maybe I didn't send out enough emails. Maybe the pricing was not the right price. Maybe the people who I'm talking to are not the right people, right? These are the questions you need to ask yourself if you want to make a profit in your business. Give me a 6 if that is making sense to you guys. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, does it make sense? Let's do a quick recap. You want to make sure your goals are smart, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. You want to make sure that you set up for 90 days. I hope you're taking notes, guys. Taking notes for 90 days. You want to set aside time, I would say an hour or two every day, to work on the goal, on your task list. You want to celebrate each step, and you also want to make sure that you are flexible, because you don't always have control of every aspect of the growth of your business. As much as we love to, the reality is we don't always have control. We don't always have control of when people will say no or yes, or when people will cancel. And again, that is no reason for you to throw your hands in the air and say, listen, I can't do this thing. In fact, that is an opportunity for you to learn and re-implement some things or de-implement some things, so that you can actually move forward. So let me give you an example of goal setting for profit, right? I just wrote something off the top of my head, and this is an exercise that I do with a lot of my clients when we're talking about their marketing strategy, but we're talking specifically about the goal setting part of their marketing strategy. Because in order for you to implement a marketing strategy to get in front of your ideal clients so that they will buy and so that you can make the profits, because remember everything is tied in together, right? You need to first be very intimate with your dollars and cents. You need to be very intimate with how much you need to sell, how much you need to, how many people, the cost of everything. And that's why on Wednesday we're going to talk about pricing for profit, right? Because everything works together. So if you say something, and there's something like this, I want you to write down right after you have listened to this training, or even as you're listening to me right now. In 90 days, like you're not going to say, I want some more money or I want more clients, right? In 90 days, I want to increase my profit from $500 to $2,000 a month so that I can increase my emergency fund, increase my salary, and reinvest in my business, right? And you can even get more specific with how much you want to put in an emergency fund, how much you want to pay yourself, and how much you want to reinvest in your business every single month based on moving from $500 to $2,000, right? This is just to give you an idea. I will do so by raising my prices from X to Y, right? If you've identified that your pricing might be an issue. And guys, I know it may be very scary to raise your prices, and you don't just raise your prices arbitrarily. You want to make sure that if you do make a decision to raise your price, that it is that you're providing the right amount of value, that you're providing the right amount of value based on whatever you are charging. And remember as well, you can have low ticket items, mid ticket items, and high ticket items, right? So you don't always have to have one price. When you go and buy fast food or whatever, you have a small, a medium, and a large. It's the same thing in your business, right? You have a small package, a medium package, and a large package. Think about it that way, right? For your service-based businesses, for your product-based business. If you're selling food, you might have a small container and then you have a large container, right? So you have a small container, you have a large container, and then you have you make food for a group of people. So you have different price ranges. Yeah. So always think about that when you're thinking about your profit, right? Based on my small, my medium, and my large, right? How much do I need to charge? We'll talk more about that on Wednesday, but I will do so by increasing my prices from X to Y, by bundling my offers, right? To include A, B, and C, by selling every day on FGH platform, whichever platform, every day at 7 p.m. via video, webinar, or post. You see how specific I'm getting? I'm not just saying I'm going to sell every day on social media. No, I'm going to sell every day on my Facebook and my Instagram by posting an offer via video or webinar or post every day at 7 p.m. It can be multiple times a day. You can say 7 p.m., 2 p.m., 10 a.m., right? But those are the times that you're going to show up, and those are the times that you're going to actually ask for the sale, right? In different ways, obviously, right? I will follow up with 10 clients who bought from me in the last 3 months and upsell them to LMNO. So when you're making your plan or your goal to increase your profit, that is how specific you have to get. And guys, I could get so much more specific than this. And coming out of this, I'm writing, then I can decide what my strategy is going to be, because a little bit of strategy is in that. And then I can decide, okay, Monday I'm doing this, Tuesday I'm doing this, Wednesday I'm doing this, Thursday I'm doing this. You're going to do that religiously every single day, right? For a period of time, not for a week, not for 2 weeks, for a month. Keep your head down, focus for a month for you to get the results that you want. A lot of you give up so easily. You give up after 3 days of somebody not buying from you. No, continue selling, continue asking for the sale, continue talking to your clients, continue talking to them in the DMs, continue telling them in your WhatsApp, continue sending them emails. Don't be afraid. Once you are confident in the thing that you are selling, you're confident in your pricing, you are confident in how it can transform their lives, then continue, right? Because those first 3 or 4 days when you're not getting the feedback, it's okay because you know what? People are seeing you, people are listening, right? They are waiting to see how consistent you are. They're waiting to see how consistent you are because they also want to make sure that you are a legitimate business. Let's say they've never bought from me before. They want to also make sure you are a legitimate business and that you are deserving of their hard earned money. And by all rights, think about you if you want to buy something. Yeah? You want to make sure that, listen, I don't waste my money and just give any arbitrary person my money. It's the same thing, right? So you are just on the other end of it. So you want to make sure that in order to maintain or in order to increase my profit margin, I have to intentionally do this thing for at least a month straight every single day until I get exactly what I want. I'm going to start off by writing a smart goal for 90 days. I'm going to then break those goals into smaller parts. I'm going to set aside time every single day to implement and get into action to make sure my goal comes to life. I'm going to celebrate every win, big and small, as I move forward with my goal. Yes, and I'm going to be flexible because I do not have control of everything, but I'm going to focus on the areas of my business where I have the most control because we do not control everything. Even in our everyday life, we don't control everything, right? But I am going to focus on those areas of my business where I have complete control and make sure that that is implemented 100% no matter what, right? Getting the profits that you deserve is not hard. It's not hard. It does not happen overnight, as I always tell you guys, but it happens over time. Yes, it happens over time. You set the goal, you set the intention, right? You make sure that you're not underpricing, making sure that you're pricing competitively. If you're not sure about what to price, go and do some research for people who are selling the same thing or something similar in your area, right? And see what the price ranges are like. You can sell a low tier, a mid tier, and a high tier offer. You can sell multiple things at the same time in order for you to hit that profit that you want. You don't have to sell one thing. You can sell multiple things at the same time in order for you to hit that profit that you actually want. Yes, guys, give me a 7 if it's making sense. Give me a 7 in the chat if it's making sense. And this is a great time for you to jump in and ask any questions that you have about goal setting. If you have not started to write out your goals for the next 90 days, I'm not begging you. I'm encouraging you that this week is a great week for you to start that action. Start to write it out. Write it out. It does not have to be perfect. Remember, it's for you. It doesn't have to sound like anybody else, right? But write it down. Start to envision it. Start to take out all the parts, the moving parts of it. Start to decide, okay, what do I need to do in order to make this become a reality? What do I need to do? If I'm just showing up once a week, let me increase that to 4 times a week, right? If I'm sending one email a month, let me increase that to 2 emails a week. If I have not spoken to my clients that I sold to 3 months ago, let me reach out to those clients and upsell them to something or give them a bundle or resell them with something. Let me reach out to anybody who has jumped into my DMs or WhatsApp and ask me a question about my offer, but who has not actually bought from me. Let me offer them a low ticket item, right? Let me invite them to my store for open day or something. Yes? Let me do the things that I need to do, right? In order to reach to that profit, whatever that profit is, because I want to move from $500 to $2,000 a week, right? What do I need to do? Or $500 a day to $2,000 a day, whatever that looks like to you. But guys, when you're writing out the goal, you want to be very, very, very specific about what you desire for your business. Let the numbers give you some palpitations. Feel the, it's okay. It's okay to feel the butterflies. That's when you know, okay, I'm feeling uncomfortable. You know, I always say you have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable, right? Let that uncomfortable feeling sink in and then do it anyway. And of course, if you need support, you have support, right? You don't have to do it alone. You definitely don't have to do it alone because I am here and we have our community in DBS, Dynamic Business Strategist, on Facebook. If you're not there, that's where you need to be. I told you already, come in and get the support. But if you want to really make the type of profits that you know you deserve, now is the time to start. The first quarter is already done. If you haven't made a move as yet in your business, don't beat up yourself because life happens, right? But you also have to make that decision from now that the next quarter is not going to be the same. I'm going to make some huge, huge changes in the next quarter to get the profits that I want, and I'm going to start that off by writing out a very specific goal, a smart goal. Making sense? I mean, each other is making sense. Hi, Princess, Curlina. Some of it's making sense in the chat. Yes, making sense. Right, I'm going to drop a link in the chat as well for a program that is launching tomorrow called Profit Acceleration, right? And all of this is I'm talking to you about, and I'm going to be talking to you about in the next few weeks. It's all about how you can accelerate the profits in your business. If you're not making any profits right now and you are making enough money just to barely get by, it is time for you to make some changes in your business because you don't have to operate a business where you are just making enough. You want to make a profit, right? But you have to make some changes in the back end of your business, in your messaging, in your pricing, in your ideal client. You may have to make some changes in order to get to that level of profit over time, right? So you can click on the link in the comments to read more about the program so that you can get on board. It actually starts on April 1st, so you have enough time to get your coins together. There is no excuse. You have enough time to get your coins together. There's a payment plan available as well so that you can pay down and then pay later on and that kind of thing, right? So you literally have no excuse. But again, guys, do you have any questions about how you goal set for profit? Do you have any questions about goal setting for profit? Is it clear? Is it understandable? As usual, if you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments or jump into my DMs. I'll be glad to talk to you more about it. If you have challenges actually writing the goals and come up with very clear goals, jump into my comments, jump into my DMs, and let's talk more about it because you deserve to have a business that brings you profits every single month, every single week, and every single day. And I would love to support you on that journey. Yeah. So, guys, that's it for us tonight. Meet me at lunchtime on Wednesday when we talk about pricing for profit. Yeah. So, meet me lunchtime on Wednesday. Same platforms, 12 p.m. So we can talk about pricing for profit. Have a great night. Be safe. Follow the rules, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.